In the wake of their harrowing experience in the haunted house, Sarah, Emily, and Samantha decided to write a book about their ordeal. They wanted to share their story with others and warn them about the dangers of venturing into the woods without proper planning and preparation. Their book, Lost in the Woods, a true story of survival and haunting, became a bestseller, and they were soon approached by a filmmaker who wanted to make a movie based on their story. The women were hesitant at first, but they eventually agreed to let the filmmaker adapt their book into a film. The movie was a huge success, and it brought even more attention to the story of the haunted house in the woods. Soon, the women were being interviewed on television and radio shows, and they were invited to speak at events and conferences. They had become minor celebrities, and they were being hailed as heroes for their bravery and resilience. But as the years went by, the women began to notice that something was not quite right. They were plagued by strange occurrences, and they had the feeling that they were being watched. They couldn't shake the feeling that the spirits from the haunted house were still following them. They soon realized that the spirits were not just confined to the house in the woods, but they had followed them out into the world. They were determined to find a way to put the spirits to rest for good, and they began to research everything they could about the house and the spirits. They discovered that the house had been built on sacred indigenous land, and that the spirits were the souls of the indigenous people who had been displaced and forced to leave their homes. The women realized that they had to make amends for the wrongs that had been done to the indigenous people, and they began to work with a local indigenous community to find a way to honor and respect the spirits. With the help of the indigenous community, the women were able to perform a ceremony to honor and release the spirits. The ceremony was a success, and the spirits were finally able to find peace. The women were also able to find peace, knowing that they had made amends for the past wrongs and had helped the spirits find a way to move on. However, their story doesn't end there. They got an invitation from a researcher who wanted to study the house and the spirits. They agreed and went back to the house with the researcher. They found out that the spirits were not just confined to the house but also the surrounding area. They discovered that the spirits were not just the souls of indigenous people but also of the settlers and prospectors who had come to the area in search of gold and other resources. The researcher and the women discovered that the spirits were not just lost souls but also protectors of the land. They had been trying to protect the land from being exploited and ruined by the settlers and prospectors. The women realized that they had to do something to help protect the land and the spirits. They started to work with local conservation groups and activists to help protect the land and the spirits. They were able to pass legislation to protect the area from development and mining. They also helped to establish a nature preserve and cultural center in the area to honor the spirits and to educate people about the importance of respecting and preserving the land. The spirits were finally able to find peace, knowing that the land they had protected for so long was safe and that their legacy would be honored and remembered. The women were also able to find peace, knowing that they had helped to make a positive impact on the world and had helped to bring closure to their own personal journey.